much for calling me Madam Deputy Speaker. And like all honourable members, I had the honour this weekend of being part of our remembrance service. And as always, Newport's cenotaph was hugely well attended by veterans, by service personnel and residents from across our city who all came together to pay our respects to those who have served our country and to those who continue to serve today to keep us safe, and we thank them deeply. Thanks also are due to the Royal British Legion with the support of the local community in Caerleon, as adorned every lamppost and school railings with beautiful red poppies. And today in Redwick Village, I'd like to thank the Redwick History Group, who, along with the community members and representatives of the Rifles, have unveiled a grave marker for a Crimean War veteran, Henry Davis, who has lain for 118 years in an unmarked grave in the churchyard there. Now, as well as honouring sacrifices, remembrance also, I think, means listening to those who are still seeking justice. And ministers will be aware veterans of the Falklands War from the Welsh Guards in Newport and across Wales continue to campaign for the release of papers relating to the Board of Inquiry into the bombing of the Sir Galahad in 1982. It's 43 years since the attack in which 56 died and many more were injured. And ever since, survivors and their families have sought transparency about what happened, but they need those documents declassified, some of which are scheduled to remain closed until 2026, which is a long, long time to wait. It was my constituent Mike Hermanis, formerly of the Welsh Guards, who first brought this to me in a surgery in St Julian around 3 years ago. And on behalf of him and others like Kevin Edwards, can I urge the department to help speed the process up? The previous minister made clear from the dispatch box that no blame is attached to the Welsh Guards. They conducted themselves heroically on that day, and I acknowledge also the work of the previous minister from southwest Wiltshire. But I think ministers will also understand the desire to get to the truth of what happened for those who've lived with this for so many years. And for more context on that, I refer ministers to Crispin Black's excellent book, Too Thin for a Shroud. 7 documents have been released so far, but there are dozens and dozens to go, and it's taking a long time. So I urge the Minister today at the dispatch box to agree to meet with us urgently so that we can finally resolve this, and so veterans and their families can get to the truth and find the peace that they deserve. This weekend, our city will also remember those who served in the Merchant Navy at a service organised by the Merchant Navy Association, which is ably chaired by my excellent constituent, Alan Spate. The vital role of the Merchant Navy in conflict is sometimes a little overshadowed and underappreciated. Over 54,000 seafarers lost their lives during both World Wars while maintaining vital supply lines under constant threat from enemy submarines and aircraft. But their sacrifice is never forgotten in Newport. Newport's port was recognised as one of the most important in the UK, and during World War II, merchant ships sailing from Newport joined Atlantic and Arctic convoys. More than 430 seamen from Newport were lost in the war, including those on the SS Llanwern, of which just 11 of a 60-strong crew made it back. And we also remember Raymond Steed, the second youngest to die, just age 14, when the SS Empire Morn was blown up by a U-boat. Not forgotten either, their sacrifice is not forgotten either by our doorkeeper Paul, whose uncle Jimmy Kehoe died in 1941 when his ship was too sunk by a U-boat. And finally, may I also thank all those who provide services for veterans in Newport. Regularly, I meet with Newport Veterans Hub, who I thank for their service in many conflicts. Some of these conversations are more robust than others, shall we say, but it's always good to hear from them. It's always good to have their reflections, always good to hear their views, and I acknowledge there is always more to do. Madam Deputy Speaker, also as we mark Armistice Day, we should reflect on today's unstable world. Old threats are resurfacing, fears and anxieties are common feelings, and there are new threats from emerging technologies. Trust, truth, values of honesty and reliability are under attack. Remembrance is about the loss of brave lives, but also a living example of our resistance, our determination to defend our values, to demand truth, and not to give in to hostile forces. And in these difficult times, we thank all those who have served and all those who serve today. Thank you.